So last night I went to an advanced screening of The Beguiled, directed by Sofia Coppola, starring Nicole Kidman, Colin Farrell, Kristen Dunst, and Elle Fanning. And before I start the review, I want you guys to know that I am someone who's never read the novels, and I've never seen the 1971 version starring Clint Eastwood. So going into this movie, I didn't know what to expect. And when I watched the trailer, I didn't really like it, to be honest with you guys. I mean, it felt really Oscar bait and visually unappealing, and it's just not the kind of movie that I usually watch in theater. When it's come to these Oscar, depressed and sad movie, it's just it's just not the kind of movie that I pay money to see in on the big screen. You know what I mean? But hey, it's free. I walked out of the Beguile quite surprised of how much I actually like this movie. So the premise of this movie is that there's this school for girls only during the Civil War, the bad one. One day, one of the girls found a wounded soldier in the woods. So she decided to bring him back to the school so so everyone can like help him. And then, there the soldier was offered shelter and he promised to leave as soon as he, recovers. Now keep in mind that this took place several years into the Civil War. And that means these women, they haven't been with a man for a long time, and vice versa. Same thing could be said for, Colin Farrell's character. He's a soldier. He's been at war for several years. So he hasn't been with a woman for a while. And now all of a sudden these two parties, they're forced to live in the same house together. That's when things get tense. Really tense. Now, what this film really is actually not a drama nor a western. It's actually a slow burn thriller. It's a thriller. And it is told with chapters, several chapters, instead of the three acts structure like normal movie. And this method act as a double-edged sword for numerous reasons. Because in one hand, you have a really, really well thought out narrative, right? Throughout the movie, you see a lot of repetition of scenes and, cinematography sequence from chapter to chapter that sort of echo each other. And if you pay close attention in the first 15 minutes of the movie and the last 15 minutes of the movie, the payoff act of this movie is brilliant. Like the scenery, the stuff that the character did in the first act, and then what they did differently. But the two scenes they were filmed, and there are imagery that was so closely connected to each other, makes a really, really well done payoff. But in the other hand, the pacing of the movie really dragged. I mean, it was so slow. The movie is an hour 30 minutes, but it felt like 2 hours at least. It was so slow. The first hours or so was really, really tough to get through without a few yawns. Nicole Kidman is fantastic as Miss Martha. Why did you say that name? The head of the school. I'm not like the biggest, Kristen Dunst fan. I really like her as Mary Jane in the Spider-Man movie. And last year she was really, really good in Hidden Figures, but she was even better in this movie. I mean, she gave a really, really powerful performance. Elle Fanning continued to impress me, and I think in this movie she gave what is easily the best performance in her career. But I gotta give it to Colin Farrell. This man is just so good. His character is really intriguing and unpredictable, and he kept you guessing until the very last moment. You just don't know what to think of this character. Is he a bad person or is he a good person in a bad situation? The movie is also surprisingly funny. I mean, I laugh more in this movie than any other, modern comedy that came out, or even the Transformer. let's not talk about that. Overall, The Beguiled took me off guard, and I actually enjoyed so much more than I expected. The story did drag, especially in the middle chunk, but it was so well directed, so well acted, and I can honestly see, Nicole Kidman and Kristen Dunst getting Oscar nomination for Best Actress and possibly a Best Adapted Screenplay. I'm gonna give The Beguile a 7 out of 10. Not the type of movie that you have to rush out to theater to see right away, especially with Baby Driver, which there's a review coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And Spider-Man: Homecoming coming out next week. So if you're like a fan of the novel or the movie before this, and if you're a fan of any of these actors, I mean, come out and check it out whenever you can. It's not like you have to see The Beguiled. It was so good. I mean, it was really good, but it's not like something that you have to like, go see it right away. But still, check it out. It's pretty good. Okay, thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you soon.
What have you done to me? You vengeful bitches!